Please join me next time as we make our way into the town of Lumbridge. Settled within the kingdom of Misthalin, in the year 1937 of the Fourth Age, the town of Lumbridge was founded. Little is known of Lumbridge at this time, though the town was built up largely on the west side of the River Lum. A bridge crossed this river, linking the road to Varrock further up the east bank. It is likely that Lumbridge got its name due in part to this bridge over the River Lum. Oral histories note that the Church of Saradomin found in Lumbridge was built more than 230 years before the present day, only 2 years after the initial settlement. Lumbridge's population are Saradominists, the same as the majority of the population of Varrock. The town and its surroundings are bequeathed by the royal family of Varrock as a dukedom. Many dukes have held this role, with the current duke being Duke Horatio. Little is known about the duke, though he described the destruction of Crandor as being in his father's day. The Duke's Council is kept by many powerful and influential people of Gielinor, including the Archmage of the Wizard's Tower. Lumbridge's prominence rose as the people of Misthalin discovered runes and magic. Around 100 years ago, the Duke's personal cook used his twin skills of magic and cooking to attempt to eliminate members of a secret political council. He was sealed away by his apprentice, the ancestor of the castle's current cook. For this deed, the Duke of the time offered the role to the apprentice and all of his descendants. While many historical events caused peril in other lands, Lumbridge largely passed them by, growing into a large farming community. The town is now a major hub for the surrounding settlements. We have a number of things that we'll need to accomplish today. I've set myself a few skill tasks, notably 27 woodcutting so that we can travel by dugout canoe, 30 mining to mine coal from the swamp's west mine, 30 farming to plant a willow tree in the tree patch, and 18 smithing so that I can produce a full set of bronze armor. We do already have our woodcutting level above 27, so I won't need to grind for that one. To make use of the other resources available to me, I will also be mining copper and tin from the swamp's east mine, and planting both barley in the northern hops patch and oak trees in the tree patch. Today I'll be completing the Cook's Assistant quest, the Sheep Shearer quest, the Restless Ghost quest, the Misthalin Mystery quest, and the X Marks the Spot quest. For our easy achievements in this area, I will need to craft some water runes, chop and burn some oak logs in the Lumbridge area, bake some bread on the castle kitchen's range, enter the ham hideout, and learn my age from Hans. I intend to rid the town of pests and monsters, in particular a big frog, a giant rat, a mugger, goblins, and giant spiders. Finally, for our miscellaneous tasks, I'll be making purchases from Bob's Brilliant Axes, the general store, and the Sheared Ram. I will also need to claim runes from the magic tutor, play the church organ, and I've set myself a task to show our goblin book from the Remington episode to a ham member. So let's get started. We're here in Lumbridge today. Last time, while completing the Rune Mysteries quest, we promised the Duke we'd update him on how it went. Let's go and do that real quick. Your Grace, the talisman was safely taken to the Archmage. It turns out to be a relic that dates back to the early days of rune crafting and was steeped in the energy of the Essence Mine. In the end, it was the key to rediscovering the Essence Mine. The Archmage sends his sincere gratitude.
I'm glad to hear that. Access to runes can only make Misthalin prosper. The Archmage tells me that you're looking to make a good impression among my people. Might I suggest talking to my cook on the ground floor?
I am, Your Grace. I'll talk to him immediately. Thank you. So I quickly change out of my wizard gear and head down to the floor below to check what I could do for the cook.
What am I to do?
Is something the matter?
It's the Duke's birthday and I don't have the ingredients for a cake. I'll never be able to make it in time.
Well, what if I were to get the ingredients for you? What do you need?
You would do that?
Of course. Tell me how I can help.
Okay, well I need flour, milk and an egg. There's a mill to the north where you can make flour. There's also a cow pen just to the other side of the river where you can get milk. I'm sure Farmer Fred to the north would supply an egg if you told him I need it.
Flour, milk, egg. Got it. I'll be back in no time. So I head out to collect these ingredients for the cook. The cook gives me a pot and bucket so that I can collect the flour and milk for him. Millie in the mill tells us how to grind wheat down into flour using the mill. Flour acquired. I talk to Farmer Fred about getting an egg for the cook. He seems a little annoyed that people keep opening the gate to his sheep pen, which is leaving him behind in his shearing. When he's done venting his frustrations though, he agrees to let me take an egg. When I tell him that I'm in Lumbridge to help people out, he asks me to come back and talk to him when I'm done helping the cook. Egg check. Across the river I talk with Gilly Groats, and she tells me that I can milk one of her dairy cows. Milk check. With all the ingredients gathered, let's return to the cook. Here are the ingredients you needed.
Oh, thanks, Sarah Daman. You've saved my job.
Happy to help.
Please, feel free to use my new range whenever you want. It's the Cook-O-Matic 100, the best range on the market.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure I'll take you up on that offer soon. We need to cook a loaf of bread on the castle range for an easy achievement. The cook seems pleased with our cooking abilities and says that he'll keep me in mind if he needs any culinary help in future. Let's go help out Fred as we promised.
Get off my land. Oh, it's you. Sorry.
So, how can I help you, Fred?
Well, as I explained, I'm behind on my shearing. Normally I can keep up with orders, but with pranksters leaving the gates open, I've been spending all my time chasing my sheep down. Any chance you'd be able to shear 20 of my sheep and then pop over to the castle to spin the wool? I'll pay you honest wages and teach you a thing or two about crafting.
Crafting, you say? We do try to check out the crafting guild, but we're turned away. You've got a deal. Tell me when to start.
Take these shears and get started. Just be careful of the thing.
Thing? What's the thing?
Better you don't know.
Well, fully creeped out by that, let's get a start on the shearing. We hop the fence just to make sure we don't let any sheep out. We accidentally try to shear this aggressive ram and get 12 attack in the process of subduing it. Well, these are just two penguins in disguise. I've heard of wolf in sheep's clothing, but this is next level. Okay, we've sheared more than 20 sheep. We can take advantage of the opportunity to get a little extra crafting experience as we spin them. Fred told me that I can keep some balls of wool for myself if I get extra. Then I can use them to string necklaces later. I've got the wool order.
Thank you. Here's your cut of the profits.
Alright, here's your shears back. Thanks for letting me borrow them.
I have spares. Keep them. If you ever need wool, just feel free to shear my sheep.
Thanks, I just might. Oh, by the way, I think I saw the thing.
You saw the thing. Run Citizenscape. Grab as many sheep as you can and head for the hills.
Fred, it's okay. It's just two penguins in disguise.
I think you've been out in the sun too long.
A man named Hans wanders around the Lumbridge Castle courtyard. He keeps meticulous records on people and thinks he can tell me how old I am. Well, I feel older than a newborn, but who am I to argue? That's an easy achievement done. Have to get some money out of the bank and make some purchases. I buy a steel axe from Bob's Brilliant Axes. I only have an iron axe right now, so that will be a definite upgrade. I'm going to buy a drink here from the sheared ram. It's only 2 coins. They have some interesting clientele. This hooded man is murmuring about treasure and shoots me a sour look when I approach. Maybe he'll be in a better mood later. Let's buy a cake tin from the general store. It's only 13 coins, but I can use it to make cakes in future. Thanks to the cook, I know the ingredients, but it is a little beyond my skill level right now. On the way back to the castle's bank, I was stopped by Sergeant Damien again. He was impressed with me last time and wants to make sure I'm fighting fit in the event of more combat. Now I have more camo. I know I said I wanted to blend in with the people of Lumbridge, but this is something else. We should go and claim our runes from the magic combat tutor. Okay, now let's head into the church and show off our musical talents.
In the name of Sarah Daman, please cease that endless racket.
I'm sorry, Father.
That's quite alright. Now, Are you a new member of this congregation?
Oh, I don't know. This isn't a Zamorakian church, is it?
Zamorak. Heavens no. This is a church of Holy Saradaman.
Who's Saradaman?
Who's Sarad? Surely you jest. Saradaman. He who creates the forces of goodness and purity in this world.
Oh, that's Saradaman.
Who else?
So, not a Dark Lord or anything like that?
What sort of question?
I'm just checking. I've been burned before.
What?
What? Anyway, is there anything I can help you with, Father?
Well, now that you mention it, there is a ghost haunting the crypt near our church. Our resident ghost expert has been living in the swamp for some time now and I'm not fully equipped to deal with it. Any chance you might be able to look into the trouble?
Sure, I can. I'll work this out in no time. So I go to the crypt just south of the church, and sure enough, when I investigate the coffin, a ghost appears. It's not aggressive though. Let's see if we can find out what it wants. How might I be able to help you, ghost? Oh, I don't speak ghost. Well, I may need to seek out this ghost expert after all. His name is Father Ernie. Let's go check out the swamp. Okay, well here's an old shack, but it's just abandoned and full of junk. Strange. There are these ruins too. They seem awfully familiar to the air runes near Falador. Perhaps they lead to another altar. Ah, here we go, another shack. The doors are wide open and I can see a man inside. Let's talk with him. Father Ernie, I presume?
Go away. I'm meditating.
It's just, Father Eric sent me. He's having ghost problems.
I leave for 5 months and you already can't manage. I'm bound to stay in this place for 2 years so I can't leave to deal with it.
Well, what can we do? I can't even communicate with it.
Take this amulet. It will translate the ghost's words. Ghosts usually need unfinished business concluded before they can pass over. Go see what he wants.
Oh, thank you. Hi, ghost. How can I help you?
You don't even understand me. How are you supposed to help me?
But I can understand you now, thanks to my new amulet. What can I do to bring you peace?
A warlock stole my skull. Now I can't rest in peace. If you were to return the skull, it would go a long way.
Consider it done. A warlock, you say? Perhaps the Archmage might know something about this. I talk with the Archmage and he directs me to the altar here in the tower basement. I fetch the skull, but I'm attacked by a skeleton in the process. Someone's been practicing necromancy down here. I didn't bring a weapon, so for now, let's get out of here. On the way out of the tower, the Archmage stops me and tells me of developments in runecrafting. I ask about the ruins I found in the swamp and he tells me it's likely the gateway to the water altar. Now that the Archmage has told us of the water altar, I'm going to use my leftover essence to make some water runes for that achievement. While I was out in the swamp earlier, I saw a mine with copper and tin. We'll need 30 mining and 18 smithing for our goals today, so let's get a start. Once we get a full load of ores, we can smelt them together in the Lumbridge furnace to make bronze bars, then bank them in the castle. There's level 2 smithing. I think I'll smelt all the copper and tin ores I have in the bank from our Remington adventure, then go back to mining. Those are the last of the banked ores. I got stopped by a gravedigger during my trips and asked to help put the right coffins in the right graves by a man named Leo. For helping, he taught me a new dance. Let's get back to the mine. Now that we're level 30 mining, we can mine coal in the west mine. How's our smithing grind going? Okay, now that our mining grind is done, let's start to use these bars. You should have enough to get 18 smithing. I'm going to make chain bodies and plate legs, then sell them for some money as I go. There's level 18. Now I can make plate bodies. Let's make a full bronze set as promised. Done. I still have some bars left over, so I'm going to make plate bodies out of the rest, and sell them for some decent money. Using some of our money, I'm going to buy some plant pots and get a start on our new farming grind. I'll be buying acorns off the Grand Exchange to grow oak trees for experience. I'll also be using the hops patch north of Lumbridge, and will continue to use Sarah's farm. Let's get to it. While waiting for my saplings to grow, I was taken by an imp to complete an exam. When I was done, they gave me an experience book. I think I'll put it in smithing since it's a bit behind mining. Now that our saplings are ready, I can plant one in the patch. Raking the weeds and planting that gave me 23 farming. Let's go plant our barley. We can protect this patch by paying compost. We'll harvest it later. Okay, our first oak tree is ready. It's not a level just yet, but I'll be replacing them once they're fully grown. They are pretty good experience. Our barley is ready. It's not much experience, but it was the task I set myself. I think I'll keep on planting more of it though. The experience won't go to waste. Back at Sarah's farm, our tomatoes are ready. That's level 24 farming. I'm going to start planting some herbs here since we'll need so many later on. On my way back towards Lumbridge, I was stopped by Rick Turpentine again. He gave me coins this time. It's an improvement over the spinach roll. We need to cut and burn oak logs for an easy achievement. Let's do that real quick. Done. While I have my axe on hand, let's make a dugout canoe too. We can travel up near the rock where our hops patch is using the canoe. It's not very quick though, so I'll probably just run there in future. Let's do our combat tasks for today while we wait for our plants to grow. After I defeated these monsters, I was approached and told that the Duke's advisor wanted to speak with me. You asked to see me, sir?
Yes, I heard that you had been a great help defeating goblins for Remington. Imps too, if I'm not mistaken?
That's right, plus a few here in Lumbridge, to be honest.
Excellent. Any reduction in the monster menace is appreciated.
You're welcome. Just doing my part.
Say, I know of a group that you might be interested in. They seek to eradicate all monsters everywhere. They're called the Humans Against Monsters group.
I don't know. The last time I was invited to join an extremist group, I was set on fire. Anyway, Humans Against Monsters?
Yes, or HAM for short. Ahem. They have a small hideout to the west of the castle in an old house that was destroyed by monsters. You should check it out.
I guess there's no harm. Entering the hideout was one of our easy achievements. That's completed. Let's see what they're all about. So this group is looking to safeguard settlements against monsters, right?
Not just that, we're going to destroy every monster everywhere. They are the scourge that plagues this land.
But many are just harmless innocent creatures living in the wild though.
They must all die.
Well, it seems like we're mixed back up with a cult. I probably shouldn't tell them about the Zamarakians. We don't need those two groups mixing. To make it easier to get into their hideout, one of their members in Port Sarim offered to let me train my thieving on him so long as I return the gold. With that, we have level 5 thieving. I try to show the Ham members that some monsters are intelligent with the goblin book that I found, but they're not interested in listening. I don't really want to become an extremist again, so I think it's time to leave. After all that, I think I need a drink. Let's go back to the pub. When I enter, Veos beckons me over. He heard all about the help I've been doing and wants me to help him solve a riddle. He tells me that he doesn't know Lumbridge very well, but we've been seen all over town, so he may know more of it than he does. We still need to wait for our plants to grow, so why not? He gives me a scroll with a riddle and tells me that he'll be in Port Sarim. He says I should bring him the treasure if I find anything. The first riddle he gives me is just a simple number of paces from Bob's shop. We know Bob, so let's go dig in this spot. We find another clue with a map of Lumbridge Castle and an X behind the west wall. We dig there and we find an orb. The orb feels hotter and colder as we move around. We follow the heat and end up near Draenor village. The orb reacts strongly to this spot, so let's dig here. Another clue. Alright, this clue is a simple shift cipher that says Draenor Pigpen. When we dig inside the pen, we hit a casket with our shovel. It sounds like it's whispering when we dig it up, but I'm sure it's nothing. When we take it to Veos in Port Sarim, he gives me some money and an experience lamp. We would normally get a beginner clue from him too, but since we already have one in the bank, we have to return to him later to get it. I'm going to put the experience lamp into farming, so that'll give me a bit of a boost. Once we return to Sarah's farm, we get level 25 farming. We can now grow woad leaves for Wyson when we want to. There's level 26 farming. On our way back to Lumbridge, I saw another crash star. Between my own internet issues and data center server issues, I didn't manage to mine very much of this one. It was about another day before I could get back to our tasks. I saw another crashed star in the Lumbridge swamp, so I'm going to make up for the one I missed out on the other day and mine this one. It looks like someone alerted their friends, now there's a bunch of us here. I managed to mine 2 rubies as well as a bunch of stardust between my own internet issues again. While I was here in the swamp, I was approached by Abigail about a murder occurring on a nearby island. She and her boyfriend managed to escape, but the killer is still on the loose. She can row us there. Let's check it out. When we get there, I see a masked person trying to hide in the trees. I call out, but they pretend they can't hear me. I can't open the front doors without the key. Let's look around for it. I search around and find someone dancing, oblivious to the danger. The murderer ran off, but when the victim died, a key fell into this bucket of water. I managed to drain it with a bucket and collect the key. We can head inside and investigate before any more murders happen. As I search the house, I find a knife on the table and hear noise coming from a nearby study. The killer slipped a note under the door. It's cryptic and far too dramatic, but it sounds like a clue. The other rooms around me are locked, but when I work out the clue and slash open the valley painting with my knife, I get another key. Now we can enter this room. I search the contents of the room and find a tinderbox on a shelf. A barrel of explosives with a fuse is pressed up against the damaged wall. I hear more people outside in this direction, so if I can destroy the wall, I can get out of here. The fuse is damp though and won't light. By lighting the candles and heating up the room, the fuse dries off and can be lit. We now have access to another room with very little of note. There's a person out here too. Let's warn them before... Another cryptic note. Well, there's a piano in the other room. What can we spell on it? What does the killer think our fate is? When we press the keys to spell dead, the compartment opens up. Inside is yet another key leading further into the house. Another note. This killer is playing a sick game with us. We work out the cryptic puzzle that spells the word hearth by using the first letters of each sentence. We investigate the fireplace and pry open the bricks with our knife. A number of gems inside act as switches, though they're seemingly in the wrong order. When we look back on that last note and use the letters from the end of each sentence, they correspond to the name of a gemstone. We find another key and can enter the final room. The killer pops out and tries to kill us. They're using the wardrobe somehow to teleport around and throw knives at us. When we hear them in a wardrobe, we push the mirror in the way of the wardrobe and the knife bounces back at them. After a few hits, they fall. We unveil the killer and it's Abigail? Why? She starts to complain that she used to be an adventurer like me before she took a hit to her ego and didn't feel heroic anymore. She's not acting alone, however, as Huey appears from another wardrobe. They go on about their plan but seem to disagree about who's in charge. This gets a bit heated before Abigail kills Huey. Seeing an opportunity to strike, I grab the knife that Huey dropped and take out Abigail before she can do any more harm. When I go to leave, she springs back up, merely grazed. She starts to head towards Citizenscape to kill him, but Mandy appears and takes her out for good. We thought that she was dead, but apparently not. This is all getting a little too convoluted, so I think it's time to return to Lumbridge and rest. When I go to leave the house, Mandy stops me and gives me some gems she found. Once we recover from that murder spree, we return to the farm. With level 30, now we can plant our willow sapling. That's grown, and that's level 31 farming. Task complete. We learned a lot today and helped out a good number of people. With our new crafting experience, I think we should take the advice we got from the Wizard's Tower and check out Domek in Al-Kharid. Join me next time as we pass through the gate out of Misthalin and into the Caridian Desert.